everyone gets paid or everyone doesn't get paid. That's really frustrating. Another really
Having problems
frustrating
with the
thing is
signal,
just
folks. But we're back.
folks that we're working with not really realizing the privilege that a lot of us have in this movement. A lot of us have a lot of privilege, and it's really hard sometimes to build allyship with different organizations that don't work on racial justice or don't see the inequitability of our work. And so really just building these relationships with people and doing the anti-racist organizing in the work, it's really frustrating that we're not all on the same page, and there's a lot of deconstructing we have to do before we even start the real work to be done, and we have to kind of deconstruct that together, and it's really challenging, and that's even before you can start the work, the community work. So these are some of my frustrations and challenges, but you know, it's getting better and it's learning a lot.
Yeah, for me, I think one of the frustrations is dealing within San Francisco. There's such a large disconnect from, I think, the various levels that operate within the city. You have a lot of folks that are, moving here from all over the country and are not really exposed to what the day-to-day ground life is for a lot of other folks that might not have, the high education levels or the high income, bracket that a lot of folks that move here are drawn to the city for. And there's a growing food movement here, and people really value the access to fresh, healthy, food, but the affordability part is really lacking in a lot, and people really, value getting these microgreens and going to Whole Foods and these other boutique stores and, spending a lot of money to get this very valuable food, this very healthy, quality food, which is important. But there's a strong disconnect between a lot of those folks and the folks that, don't even have access to a refrigerator or to a cooking facility, which a lot of people in the Tenderloin, lack, living in SROs and some of the single resident occupancy rooms. They don't even have the ability to have, a microwave or a rice cooker in their unit. So not even be able to access the food is one thing, but the ability to do something with it is a whole nother for a lot of folks living here. And there's a strong disconnect between what people's ideals are and what these access to food can be and what people's lived experiences. And I think that's something that we really need to work on, increasing that dialogue.
And I would add, we run against a lot of brick walls in terms of information about food distribution, particularly from organizations, from businesses, restaurants, grocery stores, about what their liability to their community. So letting them know about the 1996 Act, Good Samaritan Act, which really protects a lot of organizations from donating food, letting them know that is there and that's available to them. And also just getting people, like I said before, to consider the full life cycle of food. It's great that composting is so popular in this area. I grew up in Texas and lived for many years in DC, where you don't have that interest in composting, and it's wonderful. We really want to push people to think of the highest use of food, which is to feed people. So really thinking about when you're going to the grocery store and you're out on your farm and you have a couple extra apples or some extra lettuce, share that with your neighbors. There's so many great online applications. There's also just going to a